Welcome to Smoke Signals, everyone. I'm Matt Montgomery, along with head football coach and athletic director Wayne Coleman. Coach, coaches go into these ball games, and you think you know what some team's going to do, and then they come in, and I guess this is district play, and everybody's trying to play a chess game. And Pine Tree came into the game thinking Jacksonville was thinking they were going to do one thing, and they kind of did something else. You guys adjusted really well. Didn't get the win, but man, offensively, you guys played a heck of a game.
Yeah, we played very clean on offense, and we didn't turn the ball over. And we're really good when we don't turn the ball over offensively. And we've only had 2 games like that this year. Both games played really well.
And what I was referring to was the fact that they did not run their quarterback as much as maybe you thought they might. But man, what an offensive juggernaut in the first half that both teams. I mean, Pine Tree scored in every possession, and I believe you scored in every one but one. And it was just whoever was going to get the ball last was going to win, and it was almost you guys.
Yeah, we needed to get that one stop at the end of the game and give us a chance there at midfield when they went for it on 4th down. And of course, they knew that they didn't want to punt the ball to us. So, it was a deal where both teams played really well on offense, and the team that had the ball last won.
Of course, Patrick throws for 6 touchdowns. The second time he's done that, and but you ran the ball. The total yards may not look that great because you had some sacks, but Dino ran well. The offensive line, and you lost Zal, and boy, you adjusted well. And boy, I tell you, you're an onside kick away. I mean, not an onside kick, but a deep kick from getting that back spin on it, from getting the ball back.
Yeah, it was really close on a couple of the kicks where we were trying to get some weird kicks and bounces on the kickoffs, and we almost got it. The kids they just battled. Even defensively, we didn't play as well as we want, but there was not a lack of effort. Down to the very end, they were literally fighting for the last inch to get the first down.
It's amazing when you mentioned it already, no turnovers, and that was the case in the Hallsville game where you got the win. Here, this is the team that's undefeated in Pine Tree, expected to make the playoffs and go pretty deep. You don't turn the ball over, and man, you're just right there with them. And I know we talk about that every week about keys to the game, turnovers, and I guess we need to quit saying it because it's clear that is definitely a factor in every game.
It is because I think most teams, you'll have that rare, really dominant team, but most teams aren't that far apart. And so it's just a little mistake here and there that helps one team separate from another team. And when we don't make mistakes, it's harder for the other teams to separate from us. And so as good a team as Pine Tree is, when we play clean football, we can play with them.
Were you surprised at Pine Tree's game plan, not running DJ Freeman as much? I mean, your defense adjusted really well. I mean, Bryson Tatum had another monster game with 10 tackles and two for a loss. So was that a surprise to you? Or?
No, it's kind of been their MO this year. Probably if you looked at his stats compared to last year and the previous year when he started as a sophomore, they used to use him as a primary weapon to try to move the ball. Now they use him as their get out of jail free card. They get to the 4th down and they've got to go for it. He's going to carry the ball. And they've got a good enough team where they feel like they can go 2 or 3 rounds deep. So they're trying to make sure he survives the regular season without getting injured.
Well, there was a lot of highlights, obviously, a 49-42 Pine Tree win. Let's take a look at those right now. This is a 4th down. This was our congratulations play of the game. What great execution, Darian, throwing it to Casey.
Yeah, good job by both those guys executing the fake punt.
Here's Clater finding Casey. Casey kind of tiptoed in here a little bit.
Yeah, I got on him a little bit about the showboating right there.
And here's a 24-yard touchdown pass to Rivers. What a move right here.
Just a great throw, too. A great read by Patrick. Normally that ball's thrown to the quick out.
Here's Devin with the quick out. And look at the block downfield by Pinson.
Tony P. has kind of become a master of that right now. He's done a great job of blocking for us out there.
Devin gets in. And here's Pinson again, this time on a 27-yard touchdown slant route from Patrick.
Yeah, we've got a bunch of kids we can throw the ball to, and Tony is really coming on late in the season.
Coach, this was a really key play here. Lofts perfect throw. Devin gets by.
Yeah, Patrick held in there and waited as long as he could and made a great throw.
tough play here. Look at this.
Speaking of great throws, wow.
Oh man, could not have been better.
No, that was NFL-like right there.
I mean, it's defensive pass interference. He still caught the ball because I said on the air, I said he couldn't do anything but catch the ball because it was right in his chest. So just a great night. 18 of 27, 233 yards and 6 scores, and again, no turnovers, throwing the ball, no interceptions by Patrick. Dominic had a big game running the ball, 72 yards. Devin, Latrell. And of course, I mentioned Bryson. So statistically, Coach, you look at that and you think, man, 21st downs, you think, well, you should get the win. But it was that kind of game.
Yeah, and none of that happens without the offensive line playing as well as they've been playing. Since we've started district, they've really come together. And, we were a man short on the O-line, and those guys still were able to execute and did a good job giving Patrick just enough time to throw.
So we turn now to Nacogdoches. Huge game, both you guys 1 and 2 in district play, and this is a game that people are looking at to say, now who's going to step up and still contend for those last few playoff spots. Nacogdoches is a team that kind of like yours. I mean, they've had their moments where they've played really well, and they've been on the short end of some ball games too. But Nacogdoches, good quarterback that's come back from last year. Talk about them.
It's the same story with them. When they play clean football, they're hard to beat. And last year we went down there and they played a really clean, good game against us and got after us. They're not much different than everybody else in the district. If you will not beat yourself, you're hard to beat. And we didn't beat ourselves last week. Pine Tree had to really struggle to beat us. The same thing, the week before, Marshall, we kind of beat ourselves. And the same thing is going to be true at Nacogdoches. Which one of these teams can really play the closest to mistake-free football?
One of the things in East Texas, and you've been here a long time, is that defenses are fast. And we'll see one next week when Texas High comes in. Pine Tree was much faster than historically they've been. Nacogdoches is a pretty fast defense too. They run to the ball well.
They're very athletic. They have some of the best looking athletes in their secondary, kids they're long and they can run. And that really makes things difficult. That makes throwing the ball into those windows, you've really got to be precise.
And that is one thing Patrick's done really well. And Coach, your receivers and the number of people that you can go to, it's hard to prepare for your offense given that. So how has Nacogdoches defended the pass this year so far?
They've done a pretty good job. They haven't. Doesn't seem like they've played against somebody that really wants to air it out. Mount Pleasant is more of a run team that they played last week. So they haven't really run into somebody that probably throws it as much as we do, but they're going to match up really well. They've got some athletic kids.
After playing so well in the first half against Marshall, and then you come back next week and played a full game against Pine Tree, one of the best teams in the district. How do you keep that emotion flowing now that you're going down another away game on the road to NAC and they've got their backs against the wall just like you do? How do you keep that emotion going with your team?
Yeah, talk to the kids about it's never about the other team. It's always about yourself. And in our character trait this week, it's talking about self-respect. And your self-respect basically is the picture that you paint of yourself. And so the kids have to keep in mind when they're at practice and wherever they are, that you're always consistently painting a picture of yourself. And when we go to Nacogdoches or we go to anywhere, it's not about the other team. It's about us and who are we and how did we practice? How did we paint the picture of ourselves going into the game? And so that's what we're trying to do in practice every day, and make sure we show up and we play a game that when we walk off the field, we don't got to look at the scoreboard. We know we've painted a great picture of the Jacksonville Indians by what we did on the field, and it's something that we're trying to instill in the kids. When we beat Hallsville, the scoreboard really didn't matter. We played a great game. When we lost to Marshall, you didn't have to look at the scoreboard to know we lost. You could tell that was an ugly picture that we painted on the field. The other night, we painted a pretty good picture. It didn't work out. None of that, the score doesn't illustrate who you are. Mm-hmm. How you play the game, how you prepare for the game every day, it illustrates who you are.
And that's a great analogy because, the first non-district games, that's what they're for. to help a team find their identity before they get into the games that count in district. And you guys are really a model for that, because the first 3 non-district games were not what you were wanting to look like. That did not paint a good picture.
Right.
And then you get the district with Hallsville, and now it's starting to kind of come in. I can see it, and the players are starting to say, hey, here's who we are, here's what we can do. And it's becoming pretty clear who they are.
Yeah, and even as the coaching staff tries to paint their picture of what the offense looks like, or the special teams unit looks like, or the defense, there's always going to be that I better change colors or use a different stroke on this and get the right combination on the field. And we're still working on that defensively, and it comes down to run fits mostly, making sure the kids are in the right place.
So, as we always do, we always talk about keys to the game, and I'm going to skip the turnover thing because I think that is proven that was so. Talk about the intangibles, some of the things that it's going to take for you guys to get the win.
Oh, I think for sure we've got some run fits that we've got to get corrected on defense, and when you play a great running team like Pine Tree, and they can really run the ball. They expose what your weaknesses are in your run defense, and so it's not a terrible thing to play that game, lose that game, but have exposed where you're really weak at defensively, and it's given us a chance to go into practice and identify and show the kids this is what we did wrong last week. We've got to fix these run fits. If we don't fix these run fits, we're going to be in a shootout every Friday night.
Well, it's Jacksonville versus Nacogdoches at Dragon Stadium. We'll be online at 6:45 on JHS-sports.com. For head coach Wayne Coleman, I'm Matt Montgomery. We'll see you next time right here on Smoke Signals.